All right, so Game 3, Tampa versus Toronto. Yeah, I know they call it the rubber match, the pivotal match, whatever you want to call it. If Toronto wants to win this series, to me, this is the one that they need to have. If they go down 2-1 and there's still one more game in Tampa, it gives Tampa the opportunity to go up 3-1. That's not good. That's Toronto needs this game if they want to get this series to 6-7 games, and 7 games would obviously be in Toronto. I think considering Tampa's the 2-time champs, I think that's got to be Toronto's goal. Now, a couple of lineup changes. Tampa's keeping the same lineup. For Toronto, they put Tavares and Nylander on that second line, and Spezza draws in, and Wayne Simmons is out. He had a couple of penalties in the last game, and Tampa Bay scored on both power plays, so I have a feeling, obviously, that it has something to do with it. Tampa's playing with house money. They've won the Cup 2 times in a row. They stole a game in Toronto. They're back home for 2. So I think Toronto's actually going to win this game. I'm going to go with 5-3 Toronto. Not that I think, this is a guarantee here that Tampa's going to lose this series. But there's only so long you can keep up that we want the Cup intensity, right? You don't see a lot of teams winning 3 in a row. Tampa, towards the end of the season, with the exception of the last couple of weeks, they had a couple of meh months, right? So I have a feeling Toronto's going to want this one more because Tampa probably has the attitude of, we can win when we need to, and they've been proven right so far in the last couple of years. So I actually think Toronto's going to take this one 5-3. All right, let's move on. See what happens. All right, so it's 2-0 Toronto after 1. Now, when I said they're playing with house money, they're playing with house money, Tampa is. It's 2-0, and they interviewed Cooper. While the play is going on, and I'm fine with how we're playing. I'm not upset. There's no problem how we're playing. That's a team that's won a couple of cups, and they're not real concerned about what goes on right now. A third cup wouldn't be icing on the cake for them. It would be like they've already eaten the cake and the icing, and then they brought like that palate cleanser with the sherbet. This is like the bowl of sherbet to them. It's like, we already had dessert. If we get sherbet afterwards, this is great. Toronto is pretty close to dominating this game. A ton of puck possession. Tampa, I'm not saying they're disinterested, but they don't exactly look, they're not, like Cooper, they're not concerned. They're really not concerned. They didn't play a really good Game 1. They looked like themselves Game 2. And this looks more like Game 1 again. So, I said 5-3. I'm not seeing anything that's going to change my mind. This sucker's going to go 7. If this continues this way, this sucker's going to go 7 games. And Toronto might just sneak one out. They may just get out of the first round finally. All right, so 3-1 Toronto after 2. We've got a little bit of a game here. Toronto took a 3-0 lead. Tampa Bay's kind of woken up. They get one back. Ross Colton gets one, and he almost got another one. He had a wide open net, and somehow it went off the post. I kept waiting for TNT to show the replay, and they never did. But from what we saw in the one shot they did show, basically had 3/4 of an open net, and I can't tell if he shafted it or what, or if it went off the post or off the side of the net, but he missed, so it's still 3-1. Tampa doesn't look like themselves. The one goal Vasilevsky gave up, the third goal, wasn't really Vasilevsky-esque. And every once in a while, Tampa looks like they kind of want to get things going, but they don't look like they did in Game 2, and they certainly don't look like they have most of the time in the playoffs the last couple of years when they're winning cups. Don't know what the reason is, but might be Toronto. I mean, look, Toronto's good. Toronto, the way Toronto's playing, reminds me very much about the Panthers. Puck possession, cycling that puck, right? So, we've seen the Panthers have success against Tampa Bay this way. Certainly, if somehow Tampa wins this series, I have confidence that the Panthers can play well against Tampa. But right now, Toronto, nothing, how can I put this? Nothing good can happen for Toronto right now. Only bad, okay? Because it was 3-0, it's 3-1. You got a 2-goal lead. You're fixing to take a series lead in Tampa. Just don't screw this up, guys, okay? You guys want out of the first round, it's right there. It's in your hand, right here. This period. You got to finish this off. All right, so Toronto. Toronto comes into Tampa. I had a feeling. I said 5-3, 5-2. Close enough. If it wasn't for Campbell, it would have easily been. We would be in overtime, if not worse than that. Campbell made amongst all of the saves he made, the save he made on Stamkos when Tampa Bay had the power play on the imaginary hooking call. It just wasn't, but that's a different story. Stamkos just was sure he had it, and Campbell gets over, makes the save, and the look on Stamkos' face, and he drops the F-bomb. He's just like, I loved it. I loved it. I'm not going to lie. I'm rooting for Tampa. Excuse me. I'm rooting for Toronto here. I'm rooting for 7 games, but I'd like to see Toronto win around. I'd like to see Tampa on the outskis win the Panthers. I'd rather have something different. Panthers versus Leafs. Much more interested in that than Panthers versus Lightning. Not that I think Toronto's easy. Don't get me wrong. I don't. But I think as a Panther fan, me personally, I've seen enough of Tampa. Let's play somebody else. So, speaking of Tampa, look, we've seen them down before. All right? I don't quite think these last couple of years we've really seen them be down this way. I'm surprised that they came in here and lost, the first game at home. The assumption is they'll probably even it up in the next game. But Toronto's got home ice back, okay? If this goes 7, I like the way Toronto's playing in this series. And as long as Campbell's going to play like this, they've got a hell of an opportunity to do this, right? Vasilevsky closed the door after the 3rd goal, right? And I wonder what you guys think about this. When I'm not always so sure that pulling the goalie is the best thing to do. Panthers lost game 1. I was kind of screaming at them to not pull Bob. And then here tonight with Tampa, they're pressing. They're basically dominating the 3rd period for the most part. They've got tons of puck possession. They've got Toronto on their heels. And I understand, obviously, the numbers bear out statistically. Well, I guess I'm just guessing. I assume that they bear out that you should pull the goalie and you'll get a goal more often than not. But a lot of these teams, Toronto, Florida, Tampa, they're so talented 5-on-5. I think sometimes it does them a disservice. Toronto got goal 4 there, the empty netter. There was still a minute and a half, $1:45 left or something like that. And it just takes the one missed pass where Stamkos dives and he can't get to it. And that's it. The game is basically over. Where, for me personally, I think when you've got the talent that these top teams have, I think I'd like to see a coach leave the goalie in and throw it back out to the players. Maybe if you want to go 5 forwards, right? You know what I mean? You want to go 5 forwards, leave the goalie in, pull some defensemen off, take a little bit of a gamble that way, and leave the goalie in. More often than not, from what I see, there's so many empty net goals. I just would like to see a coach take a different tactic from time to time. That's just my take. So, all right. Tampa. What are you guys going to do? You guys have been down before. Certainly not going to sit here and count you guys out. We certainly know if Vasilevsky decides to go full Vezina, he can shut anybody down with the best of them. Do they have the gas left in the tank? They looked okay tonight in spurts, but Toronto is taking it to them possession-wise. Toronto's absolutely dominating the possession-wise. They have long stretches of just cycling that puck and keeping it. And, I don't know. Tampa's either disinterested or a little tired or a little bit of both. Because they're just not playing. They're not playing up to the level that we're used to. And I think we all keep waiting for them to turn it on. And it looked like in Game 2 that they had. But they kind of went back to sleep a little bit here today. Still, I'm not seeing the normal effort from Tampa. I'm not seeing the physicality. No, not hardly any physicality at all tonight. Okay, the fourth line was very uninvolved tonight. And not seeing the energy. I'm seeing a little bit of coasting from Kucherov. I'm not seeing Stamkos be as energetic as you normally see him. So it's possible. Look, I said at the beginning of the year, I said in my season preview that at some point Tampa was going to run out of emotional energy. They won 2 cups in a row, and there's only so long you can sustain that level of emotional energy, and they may just be getting ready to be tapped out, and Toronto might just be the young, hungry team to finish them off. So we'll see how that goes. That said, I fully expect Tampa to come back and tie this series in Game 4. The suckers go in 7. But one thing for sure, Jack Campbell proved he can do it. You get a Game 7 in Toronto, if I'm a Leaf fan, I'm not afraid because Jack Campbell's in goal. That's for damn sure. So, all right. Appreciate everybody who's watching. If you're new to the channel, appreciate the subscribe button. I've been doing Florida Panther videos for just about a little bit over 6 years now. Expanding now, as you can tell, to doing more NHL content with still keeping the Panther stuff as well. Tomorrow, Panthers, okay? Panthers Capital, 1 o'clock, all right? Absolutely must have for my Panthers, all right? Cannot get down in that series again. Just like the Leafs, we need to do to Washington exactly what Toronto did here tonight. So, all right. Tampa, figure it out. I want 7. Come back, tie it up. This is beautiful. This is good hockey. By the way, Boston's beating Carolina, so even that series is going to tighten up a little bit. I love it. This is great. Everything is looking like it's going 6 and 7 games. It's a beautiful, beautiful time of year.